All right, what's going on out there, folks? Rooster here in Tennessee. This is a used bass amp, older X-Force. It was originally a 4-pill Toshiba amp. It's been changed to the 4x2879Cs with the adjustments made on the inside so those run properly. Again, it has 4 brand new 2879Cs in it. How do I know they're brand new? Well, they were purchased from me, put in the amp, and then the amp was traded to me. So it is running 4 2879Cs, has a iron core transformer in it. I have not put a voltmeter on the inside of it to see what kind of voltage it's running, but it probably drops down, if I had to guess, when you key it, probably 16 and a half, 17. So for this amp, I would probably stay around 100 watts PEP going into it to be safe. We're going to start out testing it with 50 watts PEP, 20 watts average with a 3-watt dead key, and then I'll hook up the RFX29. Excuse me, the RFX29 that has the does about 100 watts PEP, and we'll run it into it and see how it does. It does have sideband. The delay works properly. Preamp works, but the light doesn't come on. You can hear the extra static pick up in the background, so preamp does seem to work on it. Just the indicator light doesn't work. Runs on 110 volts. I have a local friend of mine that's interested in this. If it runs the way he likes it to, it's probably sold or as good as sold. If not, it'll be available for first come, first serve. But I am giving him a chance at it first. So as soon as this is done, I'm going to send him a link to the video and see what he thinks and go from there. So that being said, let's get on with the show here. Again, 50 watts peak, 20 watts average with a 3-watt dead key starting out. We'll see how it does and let it rip. I'll end up pausing the video and changing radios, and we'll be able to compare how it does with 100 watts versus 50. So 1,000 watt slug, average power first, bottom scale. So 3 watts is giving me about 50 out. Ooh, audio. Audio. Over 200 average on audio. And then PEP or peak, audio 1, 2, 3, audio 1, 2, 3, about 600 watts PEP. Now, of course, that can be different meters. You know, it may show 500 or 550 on a Dosi or something, who knows? But around 600 watts PEP on the bird there. Audio check, 1, 2, 3. Audio 1, 2, audio. Okay. So now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna pause the video, switch radios real quick, and we'll start it back up and see how it does with a little bit more drive. All right, guys, we're back, and again, we're going to be hitting it with the RFX29. It does, 30, 40 watts average and 100 watts PEP, and we'll see how it reacts to it versus with the 50-watt Connex. Again, 2879Cs, I usually recommend more drive going in, so don't be surprised if we don't see max output, but just to be safe with the power supply running a little bit higher voltage than I test at, we're going to keep the drive down relatively low. And for what he's going to be using it for, I don't suspect he's going to be wanting full output out of it anyway. But just to see how it reacts with 100 watts versus 50 watts, we'll do this test. And again, in case somebody else ends up wanting to buy it, we'll be able to see how it does here. Okay, so let's make sure our dead key is reasonable. Let's roll that dead key on up a little bit. Go 125, 130. Hello, audio, a little bit over 300. So again, keep in mind the Connex does about 20 watts average. This thing's probably doing 30 or 35, and it comes up about 100 watts or so. It was doing a little bit over 200 average earlier. Now it's doing a little bit over 300. And now PEP, audio 1, 2, 3, audio 1, 2, 3, audio over 800 watts PEP with 100 watts in. So doing 600 with a 50, and then with 100 watts going in, doing a little bit over 800. So 2879Cs are pretty drive hungry, so I'm not surprised to see it run like this. I didn't think it was going to hit 1,000 watts or anything. About 800 is what I was expecting out of it. So that's what it's doing. It's talking good, showing good power, not falling back or anything, so that's always a good sign. And that's how I would run it max if it was mine. Put 100 watts into it, but Even with just 50 watts, it should be good to go. Good running amp. Again, 2879C's in it. Haven't checked the voltage on the power supply or anything like that, but the 2879C seemed to be running pretty good in here and pretty stable, as you guys could see. Wasn't having any kind of herky-jerky movement on the power output or anything. So that's it, guys. X-Force bass amp, obviously a older amp. Had Toshibas in it. They blew some transistors out of it for whatever reason, and I ended up reworking it, putting 2879Cs in it, and seems to be working pretty good. That's it, guys. Questions, comments, shoot me a text, 423-299-3535. Rooster in Tennessee. See you, bye.